I think as well, finding someone who understands your situation is crucial. I remember after the 4 losses, we then did embryo freezing, and we got the embryos tested to see if they also had Ellis Van Creveld, which is what the baby had where we had the abortion. So like we were doing this testing, and at the time I signed on for BetterHelp and was assigned some random therapist. I remember fertility wasn't one of the things you can link. There was all like, addiction, marital issues, whatever. But I remember fertility was not one, and I was like, that's crazy. The amount of infant loss that happens, that surely should be one of the things. Anyway, long story short, got assigned to somebody. And I remember trying to talk to her about my emotions, about, what was going on and all the rest of it. And she was sort of saying to me things like, well, I believe that every child is perfect. And, basically, had I been in that situation, I would have had that baby because I would have loved them either way. And it doesn't matter what, illness they have. Because I was on about the testing and how I would feel if they have this sort of. And she was like, yeah, but you'll love your baby either way. I would have given birth to any child. And I just thought, oh, God, you completely do not get it. Like, she just did not get it. And I was like, surely as a therapist, you're not supposed to be imposing your views on me, that especially when they're opposite to what I've literally just done and have a huge amount of trauma about. And like, I don't know. So I didn't go back to BetterHelp. I didn't even change a therapist because I was just like, there's no option for somebody who understands infant loss, and especially like a late term abortion. That's like a whole thing in itself. And then doing the embryo freezing and not knowing if we're going to use them or not. And it was like this whole thing. And I was like, God, I wish I could just find someone who got it, who like knew what I was on about and would support me, versus saying really triggering things, being like, yeah, but you'll love your baby either way. And like, what? Yeah, even if they're in pain and die. And like, it was just like, I was just like, what on earth are you doing? So I ended up leaving. But my point is, I think it's like it's crucial to find someone who gets it, because if you don't, you can be really, really hurt by what people say.
And pretty much the horror story that you've just shared, we all have one, and that's then why all of us therapists who went into this, basically, they went in from going, oh my God, I'm not going to let someone go through that again, is then the thing. So yeah, it's then, and again, nobody ever means harm, like our friends and family who, trigger us accidentally, whatever sort of type thing. The therapists, are then, but they've like, okay, well, fine, you're looking at a coach. Well, what are the alternatives? Paths to motherhood. No. The paths are closed. No, but look at adoption. Look at, and you're like, that's not what I'm looking for just now. I'm looking like, how do I live a happy and fulfilled life when I feel worthless and empty because I don't have a child, without a child? And yeah, some people just, can't get there is the thing.